Hi everyone, I'm Mallory Smythe, and this is Truth with Handles, the conversation. Now, today I am answering one of your questions. This is a question we received on Instagram, and the question is, how do I help to bring my loved ones back to the church? And the sweet woman who asked it went on to say how painful it is to see people she loves not attending Mass and not caring about the things that God cares about. Now, this is a question that is near and dear to my heart because I've been on both sides of this. I left the church in college and I was away for a while, and then I rediscovered the beauty of the church and I came back. And now, at practicing Catholic, I long for my friends and my family members who have left the church to find the beauty that I found and return as well. But we have to start from this understanding. And the understanding is that we actually can't make our loved ones come back to the church. We can't make them come back to Jesus. And the reason is they can make their own decisions. My husband used to always quote this priest who said that most of human suffering stems from the fact that we can't change people. Our loved ones have their own free will. They make their own choices. And in the end, they are responsible for those choices. So we have to start from that understanding. And the other reason that we can't make our family members and our loved ones come back to the church, and it's a more hopeful reason, is because it is the Holy Spirit that draws a heart. We can do all of the right things. We can say all of the right things. And in the end, it is the Holy Spirit that is going to work in that person to bring them back to Him. And so we have to start from that understanding. So what can we do? Because there are things that we can do. If we start from the understanding that we cannot bring them back to the church, we can also start with the hope of knowing that God actually wants our loved ones to come back to Him more than we do. So as much as we long for them to return, He longs for their return all the more. And He's actually more patient than we are. Whereas we wish that we can make it happen tomorrow or today, or that they would come to Mass with us this weekend, or they would just clue into the things that we know and that make our hearts set on fire. He is more patient than we are, and He is working every single thing in their lives to bring them back. He's working every situation in their lives to call them back to Him. There's this Bible verse that I love that I came across in my early 20s whenever I was on a mission trip in Europe. And it's Isaiah chapter 65, and it says this: I was ready to be sought by those who did not ask for me. I was ready to be found by those who did not see me. I said, here I am, here I am. To a nation that did not call my name, I spread out my hands all day. If the Lord can call a nation that has not called His name and call to them all the time, how much more is He doing it to our loved ones? Even if they are not calling His name, He is calling out to them. So how can we enter into what God is already doing? Well, first, we can recognize our role. St. Augustine is one of the greatest saints in the Catholic Church. He's a doctor of the church, and he spent the beginning of his life far from God. And his mother, who is also a saint, St. Monica, never stopped praying for him. Some people say it was almost obnoxious how much she prayed unceasingly for St. Augustine to come to know the Lord. But it was at the words of St. Ambrose, another saint and a bishop at the time, that St. Augustine's heart actually converted. And so we have to recognize, what is our role? Are we St. Monica? Are we called to pray unceasingly? Or are we St. Ambrose, that we are actually called to speak? More often than not, if we are dealing with a loved one, someone who's close to us, we are St. Monica. In the same way that St. Augustine was too close to his mother to hear what she was saying and be able to really take that in, oftentimes our loved ones do not want to listen to us. And so we are called to pray. Now, I never want to stop you from moving to what the Holy Spirit is asking you to say. Maybe you can say something and your loved one will hear you, but more often than not, we are called to pray. And we are called to go to battle and pray that the Lord would send someone else into that person's life that they would be able to hear, that they would be able to say what is going to spark their heart, open a door, whatever it is. We never stop praying that the Lord would send someone into our loved one's life that they can be able to hear and that will spark conversion in their own heart. Now, the second thing that we can do is take interest in that person. See, people go where they feel loved. And so if they always come around us and they're just sensing that we disapprove of them or we just really want them to change, they're not going to open up to us. So what is it in their life that you can take interest in? Now, I'm not talking about things that are immoral or things that can be dangerous to that person or to somebody else, but all of us have loves that are just good. So what is it that they love that you can just take interest in and delight in? Because whenever they sense that you care about them as a person and you delight in them as a person, then they can start to open up. And if they do, if they start to open up about things that are deeper, make sure to ask them questions first. If faith does come up, you can ask them, what has been their experience? Why do they believe in God or don't believe in God? Make sure that they know that you care about what they think first. And then the conversation might open up for you to share. But we want to make sure that our loved ones know that we love them and that we are interested in what they are interested in. And then the third thing that we can do is live our Christian faith with a joy that stands out. So often we are not good at this. We profess Jesus and then we look like the world. We bear the burdens of the world. We show the anxiety of the world. And so our loved ones look at us and wonder, why would they be Christians if we look like everyone else? A couple years ago, I wrote a book called Rekindled, and it's about this very thing. It's my story of coming back to the church. And in it, I talk a lot about what I experienced as a millennial and probably what your loved one has experienced. I would actually recommend that if you want to understand more of their experience, that you pick up the book. But I was sharing it with a friend of mine who isn't practicing at all, and I just wanted her opinion on what I was writing. And she said to me, Mallory, what I want to know is that if you are happier following Jesus than you were before. And I thought to myself, of course, like, how could you not see that? My life before I knew Christ was a train wreck. But now, like, I'm walking with the God of the universe. I can see the world with wonder. I can experience my suffering in a different way. I have a different confidence than I had before. How can you not see that? But clearly she hadn't. Clearly I hadn't shown her that this actually is a better way, and it's a better way because my life is better. We have to have the courage to have a different joy than the world. How do we respond to the news? How do we respond to suffering? How do we respond to the monotony that comes our way? Do we have the courage and the joy, the happiness and the peace that Christ offers us? And can our loved ones see it in a way that makes it attractive to them? So those are ways that we can help and enter into the work that God is already doing to bring our loved ones back to Him. We can pray without ceasing. We can take interest in who they are, and we can show them that the Christian life offers a different and a better way. So never forget that the Lord loves your loved one more than you do. He's working more than you do. And also never stop entering into the work that He is doing.